Coming up today on Full Sail Live, Greg Popovich has announced his retirement as head coach in San Antonio. What's next for the Hall of Famer, and what's next for the Spurs? The NHL playoffs are full steam ahead towards the Stanley Cup. Haven't been paying attention? Don't worry, our NHL analyst is here to catch you up to speed on all you need to know. And finally, maybe you've noticed sport broadcasts bringing you closer to the action than ever before. We'll explore the exciting innovation making that possible. Welcome to Full Sail Live. My name is JP Wood. The writing has been on the wall for a few months now that Greg Popovich's days as an active head coach in the NBA may be numbered. Today we learn for certain. Popovich will step down from his long-held role in San Antonio. Popovich will transition into a role as the team's president of basketball operations, while interim head coach Mitch Johnson will now take over as official, full-time head coach. Johnson took over coaching duties for the team in November after Popovich suffered a mild stroke just before a game in San Antonio. The team announced in February that Popovich would not be returning to coach the team before the end of the 2024 season. Coach Pop, who turned 76 in January, put together one of the most impressive head coaching tenures seen in any sport. In 29 seasons as the head coach of the Spurs, Popovich won 5 championships and amassed 170 playoff wins. His 1,422 regular season wins is the most all-time. And if all that wasn't enough, he coached Team USA to a gold medal at the Tokyo Olympics. Popovich transitions into the Spurs front office amidst a lengthy rebuild. Their last playoff appearance came in 2019. Popovich himself recommended Mitch Johnson to fill his shoes, and he leaves him with an impressive weapons chest. Back-to-back Rookies of the Year in Victor Wembanyama and Stephen Castle, not to mention the addition of De'Aaron Fox at this year's deadline. We'll get a chance to see Popovich exercise some muscle in his new role at the NBA draft in June, where the Spurs are currently scheduled to have 2 lottery picks. Coming up after the break, Full Sail Live's NHL analyst will join us to make sure you're all up to speed on the Stanley Cup playoffs. The first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs are winding down, and we will soon be down to the final 8 teams vying it out to host the Stanley Cup. If you're a lapsed fan or a fanatic looking for a refresher before round 2 gets underway, we've got NHL analyst Charles Akanga on the show today to give us a little refresher. Charles, how are you today?
Good. How are you, James?
Doing good. We appreciate you coming on the show.
Of course. Always a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Round 1 will conclude with 2 Game 7s between Winnipeg and St. Louis and Dallas and Colorado. Who does conventional wisdom say are the 2 teams most likely to prevail in these winner-take-all games?
Sure. There are a few things you could look at. Tonight, you've got Dallas and Colorado, of course. There's several storylines going on there. Dallas coach Pete DeBoer is undefeated in Game 7s in his time in Dallas, as well as the fact that Colorado has yet to win a Game 7 since 2002. So you could look at it that way. History says Dallas has a good chance, but they have a couple of big injuries. Defenseman Miro Heiskanen and forward Jason Robertson are both out for tonight's game, but they've been out the rest of the series. So that part will tell you that it's a coin flip. So really hard to say who's going to win, but I'll probably give the edge to Dallas given their history in Game 7.
Were there any big surprises or unexpected upsets in round 1?
I would say that the unexpected part of round 1 honestly would be Dallas still being in the series. As I mentioned, those 2 injuries earlier between Heiskanen and Robertson were really messing with the team towards the end of the season. I believe they ended the season on an 8 or 9 game loss streak. So that combined with Colorado being a very tough out in the first matchup, I'm sure a lot of people are surprised that we even have a Game 7.
So Florida are the current defending champions. Do you like their chances to repeat, or do you think somebody trips them up?
Absolutely. I think they have a good chance to repeat. Pretty much the same cast as last year with a couple of additions to the trade deadline. Most notably, Brad Marchand from Boston has been a big pickup, and mostly because he fits in with the identity of the team. You know, if you followed this team the last few years, it's been they've had the Rat King and Kachuk, and adding Marchand to the mix just makes it that much more of a ratty team, and that's how they got their way to the title last year. So definitely one of the favorites to keep moving on and get that cup.
All right, so with the little bit of time we have left, Charles, we want to get some of your predictions on record. Tell us, who do you have facing off in the Stanley Cup Finals, and who do you have hoisting the cup?
I think that if Dallas can get by this Game 7, hopefully get Heiskanen back for the next series, they can continue that run on the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. I think in the East, it's really hard to say, although my gut says Florida, but my heart says I want to see the Carolina Hurricanes make it. So I see Stars Canes in the Stanley Cup Final, and I think the Stars can take it home there.
All right, so you've got the Stars Canes in the final, and you've got the Stars taking it all.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, Charles, we appreciate you joining the show today. We appreciate your time, and we appreciate your insight.
Of course, always a pleasure.
You never know what can happen in these long races. You got to just keep going, and I got a feeling we're not done seeing contact.
If you haven't tuned into a NASCAR race in a while, and judging by the ratings, you haven't, you may have been missing out on some incredible new camera angles being utilized in race broadcasts. Like the rest of the sporting world, NASCAR broadcasts are finding new and exciting ways to utilize drone technology. You've almost certainly seen it in NFL and MLB broadcasts as well. So what is it about this technology that has it taking the sporting world by storm? Drone utilization in sport broadcasting is a revolution still in its infancy. 2025 makes roughly 10 years since the first time they were utilized in a live sport broadcast. Because most networks are still new to the tech, most will hire a third-party firm to build and deliver the drone rigs needed by the network. That's great, but now you ask, what is a rig? The rig is the full setup, the camera, the microphone, and any other attachments the network needs to be airborne with the camera. The third-party firm will also handle any legal or FCC requirements and regulations needed for drone operation. On the day of the event, the firm will also provide a pilot or operator for the drone, while the network will provide a pilot and operator for the camera itself. Drones allow producers to get dynamic, never-before-seen shots that static cameras and blimp cams are unable to produce. Networks are in an arms race today to get fans as close to the action as possible, and there's no technology on the market that does that as well as drones. Thank you for joining us this week on Full Sail Live. On behalf of our entire Full Sail Live team and our NHL analyst Charles Akinga, my name is JP Wood, and we'll see you next week.